Now, those people that do a bit of poster code and maybe they post letters and all of that, I think it's on the decrease now. Even if they say exist, I don't think I see them around. But even if they say exist, that's on a decrease. Unlike those times where that was in vogue, almost you see that everywhere. People that a post office, you see it almost everywhere. But now you don't see that. Same goes to a cyber cafe. Now, when I was growing up, I know I see cyber cafe almost everywhere. But now growing up, you hardly find a cyber cafe around. Right? So that's how tech has evolved the world. And mind you, you will think, oh, that's all that can happen. That's not all. More will still come. So meaning tech will still come. Like more innovations will still come. More things will still change. My mentor will say something. He said, AI will not steal the job from you in the future. He said the people that know how to implement AI are the people that will take your job from you. AI itself won't just take up your job, but those people that know how to implement it are the people that will take your job, not the AI itself. And now this is just the avenue.
Meetup, where is an opportunity for you to learn, unlearn, and relearn tech skills without necessarily breaking a bank. Okay, so we have a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. He's a low-code advocate, and I'm very, very excited that he's here today to share his wealth of expertise with our community. It's going to be a 6-week stretch event where we're going to have different MVPs coming to speak on the Power Apps platform and how you can navigate, how you can use them, and how you can excel at doing that. So I have with us Oluwatobi Yusuf is a low-code advocate, a developer consultant with about 2 years experience. He leads Axamansa and supports various clients on their journey towards using Office 365, the Power Platform, robotic processing, and other skills that can help businesses automate their work.
So good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us. So my name is Oluwatobi Yusuf. Without wasting much time, I'll just go straight to what we have today. And I'll be talking on how to develop apps, coding with zero tech skills. That is, those that have no knowledge of programming previously. And even those that have programming knowledge, this is also benefitable to them. They can also benefit from this. So we are leveraging the Power Apps. But before we go into that, let me just run through my agenda for the day. So first off, special thanks to the Nigerian Business Intelligence Community, LEARNTOR, for putting all of this up. Without them, I don't think I won't be here today. So a big thank you to them. So I'd just like to say you're welcome. So this is just a little bow by myself. And this is what I'll be covering for today. Just simply 3 different agendas. Why tech? Why low code? Power Platform. I should have put why Power Platform, but I think I'll also talk about that also. I will definitely introduce you to Power Platform. Then after that, there'll be Q&A. So definitely you can prepare your questions and whatever you have for me. And I apologize. I'll be navigating between screens. So sometimes I'll need to turn off this screen and share another screen because there are different things I'd like to show us. So I'll be starting with this cyber cafe. So when you talk of why tech, a scenario one of my mentors to give is this particular scenario. And it makes a lot of sense. There was this period where if you want to reach out to somebody, you would need to go to the cyber cafe, or you want to send the document, you need to go to cyber cafe to scan it, then send it from a cyber cafe, which we know that has improved now. And way before we came into existence, that is way before my own time, I had that when they want to reach out to somebody, sometimes they have to, most times they have to travel over to that place, deliver the message, then travel back to where they're coming from. And now what has happened? They've wasted time, they've wasted energy just to transmit message. But now tech has made it so seamless that it got to an era where you have to go to a cyber cafe beside you to do all of those. Tech has actually, evolved all of that. It has changed the world. And now you see that some careers that existed those days that have been eradicated due to this, evolving of tech. Now, those people that do a bit of poster code and maybe they post letters and all of that, I think it's on the decrease now. Even if they say exist, I don't think I see them around, but even if they say exist, that's on a decrease. Unlike those times where that was in vogue, almost, you see that everywhere. People that a post office, you see it almost everywhere, but now you don't see that. Same goes to a cyber cafe. Now, when I was growing up, I know I see cyber cafe almost everywhere, but now growing up, you hardly find a cyber cafe around. Right? So that's how tech has evolved the world. And mind you, you will think, oh, that's all that can happen. That's not all. More will still come. So meaning tech will still come. Like more innovations will still come. More things will still change. My mentor will say something. He said, AI will not steal the job from you in the future. He said, the people that know how to implement AI are the people that will take your job from you. AI itself won't just take up your job, but those people that know how to implement it are the people that will take your job, not the AI itself. And now this is just the avenue also let you know how you can harness some of these tools, use them in your own case, and also become more productive and become more efficient, leveraging this change. Okay, so that's just my talk about the tech. So I talked about evolution. When I was in school, I knew that I did a little bit of history. So I just decided to take this from just to talk a little bit about our history. You know how we came from the wood and fire time to a wheel, then there was the writing, there was the printing press, and later it moves on to mechanization, mechanized farming and all of that. There's mass production, automation. And now the world has actually evolved. We now have artificial intelligence, we have centralized economy, and we have machine learning. So these are the things in vogue now. This is just a summary of how evolution has actually moved. And mind you, if you look at this, you see there is more of tech doing a lot of this evolution. And now we come to a different phase. So we've hit the first phase of digital transformation where we could now access all of these tools. We could now, go to cyber cafe and all of those. And we could reach cyber cafe to browse. We could reach post office to send message and all of those. But now we've come to a second wave of digital transformation where our targets, where the things that is being looked out for in this second wave are decentralization of systems. What this simply means is you are not depending on just one thing. You can operate that thing from any place, from anywhere. And if you think about that, this is talking a little bit about cloud, where you can work from anywhere. Now you don't have to come to the office physically. I know a lot of us do hybrid, some of us do remote, where you can work from home, you can work from anywhere. And why is this? It's because of this is basically the second wave, where this world is actually moving us to, where anybody can learn all of these skills, anybody can adapt the skills. The skills are not dependent on one person. The defining standard, new record for speed of delivery. Now, basically, what all of this telling us is that we are moving to a new era of tech, and we need to tap into it. We need to work, to plug into it. If not, we will now be among those people that are complaining that our jobs being taken by those that use AI, and we don't want that. So what companies are looking out for in this time is how fast can you deliver your products? The standard that you are delivering, hope is still quality enough, and how has your productivity increased? As in, are you improving on your job, or you're just remaining the same? And how do you do all of this? This is just like implementing a little bit of tech into what you do, artificial intelligence that you can apply into what you're using, so that you don't repeat some things. AI can just do them for you. Instead of you, repeating some manual things that you do every time, you can leverage AI, which is at your disposal, and you can deliver on time. Your productivity can be improved significantly because you're leveraging a bit of tech into what you're doing. So these are things that people will be looking out for in this second wave. And now, just to take you through the growth in the digital world, you can see from our analysis that by 2025, 149 million new jobs will be created. And you can see around the area that created privacy and trust, cybersecurity, data analysis, machine learning and AI, cloud and data role, software development. And mind you, as these jobs are being created, I'll be sincere with you, some jobs will be taken off, but 149 new jobs will be coming to existence. So that's just to take you through that. So now, with that all said, we see how essential tech is in this world and how it has come to stay. There is no going away of tech. But now there's what you call the low code. And I think before I go into low code, I will just take us through. So just a minute, I would stop sharing my screen. So I would share another screen.
Hi, my name is Tim Herron. I'm the CEO and founder at Degrees of.
I'm Zenobia. And I'm Zara. We both are 10 years old. We study in grade 5, Middleton International School.
My name is Anbu Anbarasu. I lead the low-code services team within EY Client Technology.
Our mission is to equip diverse, homegrown leaders to succeed in college and career so that they can be the ones who can lead our communities towards a more vibrant and equitable future.
It's very easy to turn our ideas into reality within a matter of few hours or days. Pretty much everybody can learn to use it. All you need to know is a bit of Office, such as PowerPoint and Excel, and you can get started with your Power Platform.
During COVID, one of the FSO teams reached out to us to work on the Paycheck Protection Program solution. The program entitles any small business owner in the US who is impacted by the COVID lockdown to go into a bank and apply for a PPP loan. So EY wanted to simplify the process for both the banks as well as the borrowers.
When we discovered the Power Platform, it was a game changer for us because now our team of just 2 people were able to make responsive changes and add new features as the need surfaced. We needed a technology solution that protected students' information, but also allowed our team to apply an assessment and scores in an equitable way that allowed us to get to the heart of what we're looking for in our next generation of scholars.
My favorite app is the book recording app because it helps me to give my own rating and tell what I dislike and like about it. My favorite app would be the allergies app. I have recently made this app for my friend with peanut allergies. So I decided to help her out and create an app to find out what brands she could eat from and what brands she could.
The key differentiator on why we chose Power Platform is how easy and quick it is to develop solutions. Power Apps, Power Automate, and Data come together and integrate very seamlessly. Since launching the solution, we were able to process the loan amount for 50,000 small business owners, totaling $10 billion in loan forgiveness.
Power Apps has enabled us to build things that we didn't think we could. It feels like we're punching above our weight with the limited resources that we have to develop really amazing tools.
Power Apps does allow you to make better apps. We want to inspire girls of our age and take up confidence that if these twins can learn Power Platform, use AI and build mobile apps, then why can't they?
I was truly grateful for being part of the solution. It feels great to have delivered this at a very crucial time when people really needed it.
Building this application has only unleashed our imagination about the new ways that we can use technology to support and empower our students moving forward.
I hope we learned some things from that. So while I share my screen, so if one or two persons can just unmute and tell me what they took from what I just shared, I would really appreciate it.
Yusuf, you have some answers in the chat.
If you don't mind, can you read them? I can't see my chat at the moment.
Someone said anyone can be a developer.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Is that all?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. So thank you very much. And now that takes me to low code in general. Those girls actually, I think 10 years, they said they're 10 years. And the other videos that I've shown, but due to the time constraint we have, I just picked that particular one. And that's just to show you that if kids can do it, why can't we? There are even other videos where you see, there's a particular one which is quite popular, where you see a security guard, just like your security at your place of work or your security at your school, or basically not the security guards that sit at the gates. He actually leveraged this Power Platform and it changed his career. He moved from a security guard to lead a technology solution team, all of that, using the Power Platform. And now that takes me to what low code is, and low code being a solution to this challenge or this problem I spoke about, talking about the second era, where they're looking out for quick delivery. Now, low code stands in between your pro dev and your no code. That is those that when I talk of pro dev, those are people that write the pure code. Then you have no code like the UI UX guys and product manager and the rest of them. Now, low code gives you that option to build applications, to build solutions, to build automations that solves business problem without writing codes. Or if you're even writing codes at all, you're writing very little lines of code. That's where low code come. And I've told you that you had 149 million jobs will be created by 2025. And now one statistics I didn't mention to you was it took them, I think, roughly 40 years to raise 90 million developers. 40 years to raise the amount of developers. Now, looking at the time constraint we have with 149 jobs being created by 2025, the truth is that we can never meet that demand. That means there will definitely be high demand for tech job. And why is that? Every single business have decided to move into this digital era where even the normal seller that normally would sell, by the streets are now moving on to leverage, digital tools so that they can put their business online. Before, there was nothing like Jumia, but now you see Jumia is like one of the biggest. Every single business is trying to tap into the digital transformation, trying to put their business online. What does this mean? More websites will be needed, more applications will be needed. Who develop this? Developers. So meaning there will be high demand for these guys, and that's the truth. There's going to be ever increasing demand for these guys. So now, that now brings us to where do we fall? The demand is definitely going to be there, but what is the solution? It took them 40 years to create those numbers of developers, and now we know that we can't create that number of developers in the next coming years. Now, a platform was created where the low-code era came into place, and what this low-code stands for, or what it does, it bridges that gap. Now, it gives power to the normal users, business users, those that build their circular business. It gives them that power to also build solutions, to build automations, to build applications for themselves, for their teams, without having to code like the pro developers. And all of this is made available to them, leveraging the low code. And that's where low code comes into place. It gives you that power to solve your own problem, to build your own problem. And one good thing is that nobody knows your problem more than you do. I've been privileged to work across different organizations, and one thing I've learned working across organizations is that different organizations have different processes. What this means is that they need different ways, or they need different approach to how their problem can be solved. So now when we go outside to maybe buy a solution that's already made, they find out that the solution that they bought has a different process, different from their own process. Now they now have to change their own process to the application process, or that solution process that they bought, or that third-party application that they bought. But if the people that have that problem can leverage this low code, what it means is that they can solve their problem taking into account their processes. And that's just what low code gives to you, that power to build applications. And then I'll talk about each of these applications one by one. And now, talking about low code like is the general technology for building applications without writing codes or writing few lines of code. And I'll be talking to you about Power Platform. And why Power Platform? No better reason than Microsoft is actually the number one leader when it comes to this industry. And you can see the statistics here by Grana showing that Microsoft is actually a leader in this technology. And mind you, they are well used here in Africa and also outside the country. Like the video I showed you, you see those people actually in the US, and they leverage these too. And that was the testimonial I shared earlier. Now, talking about the Power Platform. When you talk about the Power Platform, I've been saying the Power Platform is a low-code solution. What does the Power Platform entail? So like I said, the Power Platform is more like a family name for all of this. So when you hear Power Platform, you just take it as the low-code tool or the low-code technology in Microsoft. Now, the Power Platform is more like a family name. Now, under the Power Platform, you have different members, like children, people who call them components, people who call them children and members and all of that. But basically, you have 5 different components under the Power Platform. And I will start from the first, which is Power Apps. And now, when you talk of Power Apps, what does the Power Apps do? It allows you to build applications. The normal application you see on your phone, the normal application you see in your office to do some of your things in the office. That's what Power Apps does. It allows you to build an application. And mind you, you can build an application 2 ways. No code or low code. No code meaning without writing any line of code, or low code by writing little or no lines of code at all. So Power Apps gives you that power, that privilege, that opportunity to build. And I'll show you how to access all of this later on. But so that's basically what the Power Apps, and this is how it looks like. So under Power Apps, you have the model driven and you have the Canvas app. So I'll just talk a little bit about that before I move on. So now talking about Power Apps, what are the things in Power Apps? Now, if you're a developer, you agree with me that for your app to link up or to integrate with other things like maybe camera, like GPS, you need to write a program or have an API that connects it, right? But one good news I'll tell you about Power Platform is you don't need that. Now, directly from your app. So Power Platform gives you that kind of view, that drag and drop view. I believe a lot of us might have worked around PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint. So Power Platform is just like using PowerPoint and Excel. And I think a lady or a young girl mentioned that during that video I just showed. So it's more like using your PowerPoint and your Excel, just like you're dragging and you're dropping other PowerPoints. that's the power of Power Apps. And it can support any platform like your camera. So if you have your Power Apps and you put it on your phone, you don't need any special configuration. If you have a camera feature on your app, it will directly use your camera on your phone. If you have a GPS, it directly integrates with your phone. You don't need any API. It's easy. Now, one other thing is, what's the good of an application if you can't share it? What's the good of an application if I'm the only one using it? What's the good of an application if my members, my team members, the organization cannot leverage it? Now, Power Apps gives you that privilege, that power to share your app as easy as possible with as little as 3 clicks. And those clicks are clicking 1 or 2 buttons and putting the email of who you want to share it with, and that's all. And you're good to go. Now, seamless integration. One other thing I mentioned when I was talking about other platform is seamless integration. Power Platform or Power Apps, to be precise. Now I'm talking about Power Apps. Power Platform, like I said, is the family name. Under Power Platform, you have 5 components. And out of that component, I'm talking about Power Apps. And I've mentioned that Power Apps allows you to integrate with your, to use your camera, your GPS, and things like that. Your pen and ink for those that use Samsung or other phones. It allows you to share your app. Talking about Power Apps, it allows you to integrate with other tools in the Microsoft ecosystem and even outside the Microsoft ecosystem, like the Power BI, the Teams, Office 365. You can extend the app, and this is where pro developers come into place. Now, someone can be on the corner and like, oh, I actually develop, I use C#, I use maybe JavaScript and the rest of them. How does Power Apps, come into what I'm doing, or how does it help? Now, I told you that with Power Apps, you can extend your app. You can move your app to do other things that it necessarily might not be able to do at the moment by creating connectors, and this is where your pro developers come into place. Now, your pro developers in your organization might, you might want to integrate maybe with a tool or connect with maybe an application that doesn't have a connector or doesn't have an API. Your pro developers can build an API, and you can import that API into Power Apps and connect to whatever data source you want to connect to that does not exist already. Mind you, a lot of data sources already exist that you can connect to. From Power Apps, you can connect to the most popular one, which is SQL. You can connect to Oracle. Oracle is a Microsoft one, and you can connect to it without coding. You can connect to your SharePoint list. You can connect to database. You can connect to Excel. A lot of database. A lot. I think it's 600 plus or so. That's just talking about the power of Power Apps. You can extend that app by doing all of this. Now, you might wonder what is WYSIWYG. So what you see is what you get. Now, like I said, it's just like you're building your PowerPoint. Now, when you're building your PowerPoint, you're designing how the slide is going to be. For example, this slide was what I designed, right? And how it appears was how I designed it. The same thing with your Power Apps. It's not that you do something and see another. So the way you design the app is how you're going to see it. So if you have an amazing app, you build it, you do a lot of good AI, you see an amazing app. So that's one good thing about that. Now, data connectivity, like I mentioned earlier, you can connect to a lot of data sources. And mind you, they don't have to be Microsoft. It can be Adobe, it can be ZDex, and a lot of data sources that are out there. You can connect to them. Also, talking about Power Apps, now the default database for Power Platform is called Database. And Database is where you store your data. It's extensible. You can do a lot with that database, a lot. But mind you, like I said, you are not restricted to that. If you want to connect to database, that's good and that's quite all right. You want to connect to SQL, you want to connect to Oracle, you can also connect with Power Apps. Then App Logic, which is one of the things I mentioned about during my introduction. Now, there are different things you want to integrate. Oh, Toby, I want to integrate AI, but I don't know how to code. I want to integrate artificial intelligence like object recognition, text extraction and text recognition, things like that. All those AI capabilities, you want to put it in your app, but you don't know how to code. Now, with Power Apps, you can easily drag those things and put in your app, meaning you can just drag that feature, like from your PowerPoint, right? You just drag that feature, put on your app, and you can view that feature. So there are a lot of things you can do. And one good thing low codes do give you is quick delivery, like I said. Now, to build a normal application, you need to get me like a front end, back end, maybe full stack developer. They have to start sitting down with all of those. And before they build all of those applications, it can take a while. Maybe you have a developer that is very, very good. It might take maybe like a month to build a standard big application, or it might take 3 months. And you might need to get me like 3 developers or so just to build an application. But with the Power Platform, with low code, you don't need all of those. You can deliver as quick as possible. You can deliver an app in a day. You can develop an app in 2 days. In a couple of hours, I'll be sincere, you can deliver an app. So depending on how big that app is, so you can deliver standard app in short period. And mind you, I told you that in this second era, organizations are looking for quick deliveries. All right, so before I go into my Power Apps, I think at this point I might need to stop sharing, and I'll just share on my screen so that I don't need to start navigating anymore. So I'll just share on my screen. You might be wondering, how does a Power Apps look like? And it looks like, some might be wondering, how do I navigate here? So don't worry, this is a 6 series class. So I'm just onboarding into all of this technology, how you can start leveraging them and all of those. But we have other MVPs coming after me to talk about each of them in details and how you can use them. So I'll be doing more like an overview of what all of these tools does. So now I've opened the windows already for Power Apps. And like I said, I will allow the other MVPs to show you how to navigate and do all of this. So now talking about the Power Apps, this is the home page for the Power Apps. And like I said, you can build applications. Now, when I go to my crates, which is where I am now, you can build an application from scratch, either from blank. And you can also build from your database. I talked about database, I talked about SharePoint, Excel, SQL, and other ones. If you have other data sources that are not here, you can click from blank and connect them. And this is how the Power Apps look like. It's just a simple window. And one good thing about this Power Apps is that it's improving, it's increasing. Previously, we didn't have these 2 features, but now it's now here, where you can, we have a lot of UI UX guys that, into Power Apps now. And you might have done your design or your framework on Figma. You want to turn it to an app. You can directly turn it without all of the programming and all of that. So it's giving you that power to do that. As long as your company already leverage Office suite, you can definitely use the Power Platform. So this is just talking about the Power Apps. I click on apps. Apps will show you all of the apps you've built previously. So actually, this is my personal environment, and I do play a lot with this. So these are some of the apps I've built. One good thing about Power Apps also is that there's a learn where you can learn. You want to learn how to use it. We'll definitely take you through all of those, but we can't teach you all of the whole framework in 6 weeks, but we'll take you to a very good level. And if you want to learn more, there are a lot of things you can learn from directly here. So this is how the Power Apps look like. And when you want to create an app, I'll come back to my creates. And when I click on blank app, you can see these windows. So I'll just click on this create and you can see your Canvas app here. So what I'm just trying to show you here is that you have two types of apps. So just permit me. I will go to my app now. I'll click on new app and you can see different types of app here. You have the Canvas app, you have the model driven. Now Canvas app allows you to do all of those drag and drop and do a little bit of formulas. That is low code, a little bit of coding. But model driven allows you to build an app without writing any line of code. You don't need to code for model driven. You just need to do your table, just like your Excel sheet, and you're good to go. Then you might be wondering what this is for. I will talk a bit about this when I move on. So now let's go to the next one. You have Power Automate. Now, if I just navigate back to my first slide, I talked about 5 components. I've talked about Power Apps. Now let's go to the next one, Power Automate. Now, when you talk of Power Automate, what does that mean? What does it entail? Now, there are processes you do in your organization that are repetitive, that you do every single time. One good process I do give as an example is HR onboarding. With the rate of people jackpotting, the rate of people leaving the country and coming back. What that means is that employees are leaving the company and employees are coming into the company. What this means is that your HR will onboard those new employees and they will offboard those previous employees. And now this can be a lot of work on the HR. It can be a lot of work on them because they can be employing maybe 5 staff, 10 staffs, at a go. So now looking at how the HR is going to manage all of those. So one good example I do give was during my IT period where I was in a particular company and I went there for my IT. Now I go to the company for my IT. The company is about 9 floors. HR happens to be on the 9th floor. And when I go to the HR, I had to go for my onboarding about 4 departments. And those 4 departments were in about 4 different floors. Now, the HR gave me a form. So I went to the 4th floor where I did my security and all of that. Just with security compliance, security training. After that, I had to start looking for the HOD to get his signature to sign. Then I moved to another floor where I had to take another training. After that, I had to start looking for the head of department to sign so that I could go to the next floor, because if the previous HOD doesn't sign, you move to the next floor or you won't go for your next training. And most of those HODs are actually busy. They have work, they have demand, they have KPIs to meet, they have deadlines to meet, they have targets. It's not their fault not to be around, but situation like that happen. And now Power Automate just perfectly fits into this scenario because it's a popular scenario that falls across a lot of organizations. Now, with Power Automate, the HR can just trigger a workflow where, maybe a form or all of those, an app, you just fill in your details and send you for the training. Once you are done with the training on the first floor, automatically the security person already has, that pending his approval on either his phone or his system, and he can from his system or phone approve it or reject it. Once he approves it or approves that you're taking your training, you can move to the second floor, move to another floor, go and take your training. Once you are done, automatically that person gets either in his phone or in his system where he can approve it and you move to the next floor. And with that, you've eased the stress from the HR. And mind you, there are sometimes HR will be the one to go around, to fill all of these forms and all of those. So this is just a very good scenario talking about Power Automate. Now, when you talk about Power Automate, what are the things about Power Automate? Just like a Power Apps, it can integrate with a lot of systems. Like it can work on your web and also on your mobile without any special configuration. If you are to develop a normal app, you need to configure it to work on an Android or an iOS or web. But Power Platform or Power Apps in general, you don't need to automate any of those. It automatically sync with any of the tools. The same thing, you can share your documents with just a few clicks. You can integrate as easy as possible with any other tool. You can extend it leveraging your pro developers. So you can extend to third-party apps. Like I told you, there was a tool I did one time we had to integrate with Oracle. And Oracle is not a Microsoft tool. And I used it in the Power Apps, leveraging Power Automate. So there are third-party tools you can also integrate. What you see is also what you get. So whichever way you design it, is how you're going to see it. So what you're seeing in the middle here is just a framework of how the Power Automate looks like. So you can see just a kind of drag and drop cards. Then you can connect to 300 data sources. And now I'll tell you that that's wrong. As at yesterday, I think we had 900. When I joined, I think we had 250 connectors. And I'll tell you what a connector is. And as at yesterday, we had 908. I think 908. I'll confirm that number, but we had 908 connectors. What does this mean? And when you talk of connector, let me just go back. When you talk of connector is like API. So the way I'm presently in Lagos, Nigeria, communicating to someone in Zambia, leveraging Zoom. So Zoom is like what is connecting us for us to interact, for me to speak, for you to hear me. Now, same thing with connectors. For an application to speak to another application, something needs to connect them. And what connects them is called what? An API. An API is what connects those two applications together. Now, in Power Platform, because all of those APIs are being built. They are the name we actually give them in the Power Platform is called connectors. That's just similar to an API. So we give them the name connector in the Power Platform space. And now those connectors already exist. That they are built already. You don't need to come and start building, because as a developer, you need to start coding all of those APIs. But you don't need to build all of this. You just need to drag and drop it. You don't need to start building all of this from scratch. You can easily connect it. So same thing, they are built in. So let's just talk about connectors. And like I said, we have over 900 at the moment. And what does that say? Or what does that mean? It means that this tool is being developed, is being improved on every single time. Like I joined the ecosystem 2021 March, and this is it's not 2 years, right? March will make it under 2 years. It's not 2 years, and like I said, the connectors have moved from 250 plus to 908. That is over 900. You can see how rapid it has grown. This is to tell you that this is an evolving system. It always updates. It's always been updated as new things come to place. Built-in data platform, like I mentioned, Database is the default database for all of these tools. But if you don't want to store your data there, quite all right, you can connect to whichever data sources there. Then logic and automation. What this means is that you can leverage AI inside these tools without having to code all of those. And also just to show you the framework of Power Automate, I'll just bring back my window. So this is what a Power Automate looks like. And you can create your flow. To create, just click on create. It's how easy it is. And see, there are a lot of things you can do here. You have automated instant schedule. I won't speak to all of this because we have MVPs also coming to talk on all of this. What I'll mention is there's a new feature, which is the power of AI inside the Power Automate. So let me just let that trick out. So what does this mean? With this thing, you don't need to. So previously, you might want to build a flow that does this, does that, does that. But I don't know how to go around it. I don't know how to build it. Now, with this particular flow, all you need to do is just describe that problem, describe that flow you want to build, and the AI will go and build that flow for you. As simple as that. I think I did a little video on that. So I think I'll show you my YouTube link at the end of the day so I can see how that works. I think I dropped it on my YouTube. Okay, so that's just to tell you the power of AI. Now, all you just need to do is just describe the automation you want to build and let AI build it for you. So that's just to speak on Power Automate. And this is also in Power Apps. It's something that always excites me when I talk about it. All right, so I'll just move on. So in flows, you have the trigger and action. So forgive me, I think I'll try and get this slide to everyone. I'll see if I can make it available. But I just summarize what the automate does for you. All those repetitive tasks you keep doing, all those messages you keep sending every day, all those reports you keep sending. You can automate it so that it automatically sends for you. You don't have to do the work. And I did a process like that in my place of work recently. All right. So when you talk of Power Apps and the rest of them, Power Apps is more like your front end. Like I mentioned, your Power Automate is like your middleware. Then your database, can be your SQL, can be your SharePoint, can be your Oracle, whichever one you are using. So that's just the framework. So someone can be asking me that, oh, Toby, please, how does this Power Apps work? Am I the front end developer, back end developer, all of those. So you can see actually everything. So yeah, this is just to point you into that. So I just decided to do this to show you that your Power Apps, some people use forms, can be your front end, your database can be SharePoint, SQL. So that's just to talk about that. Now, the next one, which is actually popular, I don't think I need to talk much about this. This is actually Power BI. Now, when you talk about Power BI, Power BI is actually to visualize, to analyze the data. So you don't need to, I don't think I need to talk much on this because it's actually quite popular. A lot of people are actually pushing for this. Those people looking into the data analysis, I think a lot of them actually leverage the Power BI. So now when you talk about Power BI, it also falls under the Power Platform. You might not know, but that I'm telling you now. It falls under the Power Platform. So it's one of the 5 components. I've talked of Power Apps, I've talked on Power Automate, now I'm talking on Power BI. Now, just like the previous ones, you can connect to any data source leveraging your Power BI, which you can see insights with anyone. And one good thing, I think I was reading on the future of all of these too. A lot of things are coming to Power BI, a lot of AI and visualization. There's a time that when you want to view your report on Power BI, most times in our organization, we display like I'm using a slide now to show you what I'm displaying on my information. The same thing, when I'm presenting to my management, my company, I might need to present in a slide. So previously, maybe you screenshot on Power BI and bring it to your PowerPoint. But now, it is a new development where you can integrate your reports directly on PowerPoint so that you are visualizing directly from your PowerPoint and you're doing all of those figures directly from your PowerPoint without having to leave PowerPoint and go to Power BI and screenshots. So these are things that are coming up. And why I'm telling you all of this is to tell you that this stuff It is not the end. So funny enough, what I'm telling you today, in the next 5 years, it might be obsolete because they might have brought in some new invention. But at now, this is what is at vogue. So also, speaking about Power BI, seamless integration, you can integrate seamlessly with any other tool. You can extend. So basically, feature actually runs through all of them, like I mentioned. So we just few differences. I think for this particular one, data visualization. So now you might need to visualize your reports. Let me just give you an instance for those that might be confused that what's Power BI and where do I need to visualize or what do I need to make sense of. Now you might be working in manufacturing organization or company where they produce, say, Omo. Let me just use Omo. You produce Omo and you distribute Omo to like 5 states, maybe Lagos, Oyo, Ibadan, Lagos, Oyo, Osun, Lagos, Oyo, Osun. So you produce Omo and distribute to Lagos, Oyo, Osun. So let's assume you produce 2,000 Omo and you distribute 1,000 Omo to Lagos, you distribute 500 Omo to Osun and 500 Omo to Oyo. Now, normally, how you would have done this or how you would have done this previously is you have this on an Excel sheet, on a sheet where you show that, oh, this is what you manufactured, this is what you are distributing, or this is what the distributor is carrying around. But you don't need to do all of this anymore because when you come to your management are all about the number. See, they're not after a lot of rough work you do because that 1,000 that is distributed to Lagos might be maybe 20, 50, 20. Management are not interested. All they want to know is how many did you distribute to Lagos? How many did you distribute to Oyo? Now, with your visualization with Power BI, you can just view this at a go. And one good thing is that you can now even filter from your Power BI. So now, if you are using an Excel sheet, when you get to the meeting and your manager is like, okay, out of the 1,000 we distributed to Lagos, how many were sold? How many remain? Maybe it's at that point you now start checking your Excel table. Maybe for those that are really good, they might have made all of those. So they might have thought of those before and start calculating it out. But with Power BI, you don't need to worry yourself with all of this. With Power BI, you can filter down you can make all of these analytics and all those filter. You can do them on your Power BI. And I think a lot of people use Power BI desktop to do all of the analysis. So you can do all of this variation on your Power BI and you can make sense of your data. When I mean make sense of your data, now you distributed 1,000 Omo to Lagos. Let's assume the 1,000 were sold and there was still more demand. In Osun, you distributed 500. Then in Oyo, you were able to sell maybe 200 out of the 500. Now, making sense of your data now means, in Lagos, we took 1,000, we sold all the 1,000, and people are still asking for more. So, moving forward, can we increase our production and send maybe like 2,000 to Lagos because we're having more demand? Osun State also has they sold out all of the 500. Okay, can we take maybe like 700 to Oyo, the following month? Let's increase our production and take more. But see, Osun State has lower demand though. Only 200 were sold and 300 were not sold. Okay, now, should we just move those things that were not sold to another states like Lagos? Or since we only sold 200, let's check what are the issues or why are we able to sell only 200 to 500? What is happening? Our competitors doing better than us? What can we do better? Do we need to advertise? Is it that people don't know about our product? See, mind you, all of these things I'm saying now, I just made sense of them from a data set. And now Power BI gives you that flexibility, that visualization to make sense of those data. You can make decision from those data just by viewing it. So that's what Power BI does. And I think I've said a lot of that. So now talking about working together, before I move on, it's good to use Power Apps, it's good to use Power Automate, it's good to use Power BI, but it's very powerful when you use them all together. When you build the app, you do some automations on the back end with your Power Automate, then you visualize and make sense of the data of Power BI. So bringing these two set together actually is very, very powerful. It gives you more metrics, you can make more better decisions. Yeah, you can deliver as quick as possible, like I said, without having to build all of the native applications you do build. But this just to point out that they are good individually, but they are greater together. And with that, let me just go through to the other two components that I mentioned. So we have the Power Virtual Agents. Now I talked about Power Apps, I talked about Power Automate. Power Apps for building low-code application, Power Automate for automating repetitive processes, Power BI for visualizing and analyzing your data. Now Power Virtual Agents, I know a lot of us would have come across chatbots. You go to a website, you see a chatbot. In short, I think I'll just quickly show you a chatbot that I saw while we were working. And I think it's on my Power Apps. This is what I'm calling a chatbot. Something like this, where I can ask questions and it gives me answer. I want to build the app. Yeah, this is basically what the chatbot looks like. So for those that don't know what chatbot is, this is what the chatbot looks like. So and why do you need the chatbot? Is to help out. So now previously, maybe let me just use a normal organization. Let me not use a tech company. Let me use a normal organization. You work in like MTN office. I'm sure that some people will call MTN to ask MTN that please how can I check my data every time. Some people I get questions like that. And I'm sure if you call MTN, MTN is actually a popular network in Nigeria. If you are not in Nigeria, sorry about that. So MTN is a popular network in Nigeria. So now when you call MTN and you ask questions and you want to talk to them, you will notice that before it moves on, it tells you that press 1 to do this, press 2 to do this, press 3 to do this. Then you press some numbers, it tells you what you need to do. Now that's more like a chatbot, but what that does now is it takes that stress off the customer service agents. For example, you want to ask a question about how do I check my PIN? And so how do I check my account balance? It's a constant answer that they give. And maybe we have 50 people calling to ask the same questions. Can you imagine the stress on a human being answering the same questions about 50 different times? That's a lot. That's a lot. So, but with chatbots, all they just need to do is just ask a question like this, come there and ask the question, and it gives them the answer. So you've taken the stress off the customer agent to focus on more technical issues that the bot can focus on. So that's what chatbot basically does. And to build this chatbot, if you agree with me, it takes you a lot of programming and coding, because you need to start integrating, what message can they ask and all of those. But with the Power Platform or with Power Virtual Agents, all you need to do is just some few writes and drop, click and drop, and you're good to go. So let's just quickly run through what you have in your chatbot, in your Power Virtual Agent. It's available 24/7. So your Power Virtual Agent does not close. Like your customer service might close. Your Power Virtual Agent is always online 24/7. You can do it at reduced cost. It doesn't cost as much as going to go and buy some of these tools that are out there. It can interface with any tools. For example, it doesn't have, if you want to put your chatbot, you can integrate your chatbot with maybe other websites that are not built maybe on Microsoft ecosystem, because the Power Platform is actually owned by Microsoft. But you can integrate, design. What you see is what you get. That's one thing about the Power Platform. Also, natural language processing. That is, it uses your normal language to build this. You don't need to write code. Your normal language is what is being used to build this, and you can connect to over 300 services. I don't think there's any other platform that does this. Powerful analytics, right directly in your Power Virtual Agent. You don't need to start building separate Power BI. It analyzes it for you. And when you ask, what do you mean by analyzing? I thought Power BI is for analyzing. You need analysis in every single thing to make decision. For example, now you want to know which question is asked the most on this chatbot. So this chatbot stores those information because it's AI driven. It stores that information. Which question is asked the most? Which question do they ask the most? That is not always clear. So they have to go, or they have to route to a customer agent. Better improve your service. Better improve. They used to ask this question every single time. And every time they ask this question, I'll be answering them like this. They always later ask us that transform to a customer service agent. Can we rephrase how we did the answer so that they understand? Which question has been asked the most? This is the question that has been asked the most. That means that they're having issue with this particular thing in our service. Can we go and fix it? Can you see how I'm able to start picking up issues I can solve? And with this, you're having a better customer engagement, better customer delivery, having a better service for your customer. So yeah, so before I go into the last two, let me just show you what this looks like, a Power Virtual Agent, and this is it. So if you've not built it before, you can just click on your Power Virtual Agent. Just simple, you can create, and like I said, it's easy to build, very easy to build. I think I built one, and if I click on that one, I also still invoke. So this is how your chatbot looks like. So I think this is what I built. And mind you, don't be wowed by all of these visuals. I didn't build all of this. What I just did here, all I built was just inside my topics. And I think I built one or two of these topics. I can't remember. So how do you build? You just click on new topics, and you build them one by one. You put in the phrase that, hello, how are you? All these questions that people can ask. You write it there. Then it asks you, what should I respond when I ask that question? When the user asks that question, you write it there. Then what should I do next? Write it there. So these are different things you can build, inside your Power Virtual Agent. I think if I click on this one, now when someone comes to this chat and asks that store near me, you see that it shows you that I am glad to help you. You can see how it's going down. So what you are doing is that you're not building everything from scratch. You're just writing this English here that, if they ask this question, reply like this and give them this option. If they click on this option, do all of these things inside here. So you see how easy it is without writing codes. And now with that, I move to the last one. And just to rephrase, I've talked on Power Apps, building no code application, Power automating business processes, Power Virtual Agents for building chatbots, Power BI for analyzing and visualizing your data. And now to the Power Pages, which is the last one. The way you build apps on your Power Apps, that's the way you work with Power Pages. You build no-code websites without having to write code. You can go and meet your web developers to tell you how crazy it is to write codes and build all of these codes. But with Power Pages, all you just need to do, like I said, drag and drop. You have your Power Pages. So this thing about this is it's an engaging website, and the features are actually similar to that of the apps. Very, very similar to that of the apps, integration and all of those. So that's basically what we have for the Power Platform. So and then let me just take you through the Power Pages view. I think I have that here, Power Pages here. So if you've not built before, when you come to the page, it's going to take you here. And like I said, you have tutors that will come and take you this in the future. So no, I've not built one before. I can just pick a particular template. Let me just look for a very nice template. I think I like this. Then it asks you, how do you want it? This is going to look in your desktop. This is going to look in your mobile. Sorry, this is my network. So it shows you this, then choose this mobile, and all you just need to do is give it a name. Your website is good to go. That's how it is. That's how easy it is to use. Right. So like I said, I won't take you into more details. Okay, so now I've spoken about the 5 components. I might be wondering what all of this above are and all of this below. Now, Power Platform compromises of the Power BI analytics, Power Apps, business low code application, Power Automate for automating business processes, Power Virtual Agent for building chatbots, then Power Pages for building local websites. And now they do well, but they are dependent on some other things like your database. Now, I said database is the default database that comes for this, but you're not limited to this. You can connect with other things. You have connectors. I talked about connector during my course of my section. And when I talk of connectors, what I basically mean is APIs. Just like I'm talking to you via Zoom. When applications want to communicate to one another, they need API. So connectors are just API, are those APIs, and they are built in for you. You have over 900 now, I think 908. So meaning you have over 908 across Microsoft, Oracle, Google, Adobe, a lot of them. So you just need to just pull them and use them. So now all of these are the underlying thing that your app sit on. Then you also have AI Builder. You want to integrate some artificial intelligence or AI capabilities inside your app. And you're like, oh, Toby, I don't know how to code. And now leveraging all of this, you can just put all of those things into your app and use them at a go. So that's just talking about all of this. And now in your Power Platform, you can integrate on the top of it. You can see you can integrate them with all the applications. You can integrate them with Dynamics 365. This is an application a lot of organizations use. But if you don't know it, don't worry. You can integrate with Office 365 tools like Microsoft Forms and different things like Planner, Microsoft Word. You can integrate with your Azure. So you can also integrate the Power Platform with cloud because your data actually sits on cloud, right? This tool can be used from anywhere, from home, from anywhere you are in the world. Then you can integrate with all that business app and data. So it doesn't have to be Microsoft. It can be outside Microsoft. So you can also integrate with them. To end my section, but before I end my section, I'd just like to take you through just one more thing. So you might be wondering that, oh, Toby, what do I need to get started with this Power Platform and the rest of them? For you to have this access, so let me just take it to the browser. So for me to even access all of this, because I already opened them down before I came here. So I'll just create a new browser. I'll drag that out and close this. For me to access all of this, I just need to type office.com. So for those that are already in an organization, you have access to this in your organization for those that use Office Suite. And for my office.com, I can click on this app launcher and I can navigate to my Power Apps. This is it. If you don't see, just click on all apps, then navigate to that in place. There's Power Automate, Power BI, then there's the other things that you have here. So you can click on Power Apps, Power Automate, and it takes you to that one. But some of you might be, oh, Toby, I click on office.com, nothing is coming out. That's because you don't have an account. And this is my personal account. You can see it here that Oluwatobi. This is my personal account. And how can you create an account? Because you need this account for you to build all of this. And how do you create this account? Just go to Google. It's very, very simple. Just type on Google Microsoft 365 developer account. Just click on it and it takes you to where you create that account or that this office.com account. So when you click on this developer program, so this is second tab. Don't worry, I'll just drop this link on the chat. I'll drop the link on the chat for those that don't have an office account. If you have, don't need to worry. But mind you, it has to be a developer account, not a Microsoft account. A Microsoft account will not have Power Apps, but a developer account we have. So now, how do you create? Just click on join here. To create it just like your normal email and all of those. So you just need to sign in. But I actually have an account, so it's going to take me to my account. So I'll just copy this link. I'll copy this link and drop it in the chat. So that for those that don't have an account, please create an account ahead of next class so that the person taking next class can just take you into practical section. Now I did a little bit of talk, showing you the power of Power Platform. The next person coming after me will be taking you into practical section, how to start building, right? So please make sure you have created your account for the next class. If you have issues, you can always reach out to any of us, or you can reach out to me. So these are to create a developer account if you don't have. So if you create a developer account, you have an email and password. And once you type office.com, you just sign in with that email and password that's given to you. So yeah, that was just that. To round up my section, I'll just round up with 2 quotes. On-prem technology, once seen as reliable and safe, will soon become a legacy technology. This is by CEO of Automation Anywhere. For those who don't know, Automation Anywhere is actually one of the leading robotic process automation technology in the world. It's also a local technology in the world. Then we also have from this corporate vice president for our platform for Microsoft, Charles. He said 50% of the workplace processes can be automated using technology, today's technology. So what that means is that you have a lot of processes you do within your organization. I've been to some organization that I see some basic things that I'm like, oh no, you can automate this. And then with that, I've come to the end of my section and I'll be taking questions now.
Thank you so much. Can I just get one thing you have so far? Just a quick debrief, What did you get from today's session? What stood out for you? A quick debrief, everyone. It's important that you engage. The power of Power Platform. Thank you, Emmanuel. It's okay. Thank you. I'm waiting for more responses. And we're going to end in 9 minutes. Anybody want to unmute and say something? Very quickly, I want to show something to everyone very quickly.
All right.
I want to show you how much a Power Automate developer makes per annum. And this is as of January 5th, 2023, $96,000 US per annum. And I wanted to know how many jobs for Power Automate developer are out there, okay? Because this year, I'm not coming to play. I never played with what we're doing at LEARNTOR. This year, I want a lot of Black people, Africans to win. And that's where I'm negotiating deals that are really game changer for you, for myself, for even a generation yet to be born. Okay, this is it, $79,000 to $133,000 for Power Automate. I wanted to know how many jobs? 657 jobs on Indeed as of today. As of January, another one is 79 jobs for Power Automate. If you're not learning the right tech skills, you are in hot of soup. Somebody called me just a few months ago, last 2 months, and called me, Mercy, I wish I listened to you and learn about tech. That now I'm in UK, I'm standing 2 feet. This is someone that was living comfortably here. I have to do 2 jobs, because if you don't do 2 jobs or 3 jobs, you cannot pay the bills. It's time for us to be woke and learn skills that can be game changers for us. And I'd like us to take questions. This is a 6 weeks challenge, because the truth of the matter is, you can hear in his voice, he's rushing to share all his expertise with you. It's a 6 weeks long challenge. Once you have learned how to develop an app, many business owners, many employees that work in organizations, you can become the star of your boss by automating a lot of the processes. But if you don't know what to do, they will come and hire expert trades to come and do this job for you. Yes or no? Do you think it's difficult if someone shows you what to do? Do you think tech is scary? Yes or no? Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Kudirat. More? No. Thank you, Shola. Anybody with a yes? Thank you, Taiwo. Thank you, Pizze. Thank you so much. Now question time. Over to you, James, you have a question.
Yes, my question is, if organizations are going for more efficiency in service, especially in terms of speed, how do you now balance the quality of delivery? I mean, the way you've explained it now, it seems so easy, like anyone can really do it. But how do you now know what's better and what's not?
So just to correct that notion, because it's easy to use doesn't mean the quality is lesser. So I'd just like to go to the start of my slide, and I don't know if you're here from the start, but I just want to point out something. This point. Now, I believe you're in the era where cybercafe was the era of the day. What that means now is anybody, if you want to browse or you want to send the document, you need to go to a cybercafe to send that document. Someone said this, that there was a time where if you want to send a message or pass an information, the person will need to travel down to where you are, pass the information, then go back to where it's coming from. You can send that same information from your phone on your bed. Maybe they just woke up and just send the information. Now, my question to you, James, is that because it's easier to send that information from your phone, does that make the quality lesser? That's my question. Hello, James?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Exactly. So now, what this is giving you that power, that privilege to build this solution yourself and making it easier for you to build it. It does not tamper on the quality of the work. Now, if you're talking about quality of the work, it depends on who is building it. It does not tamper on the quality of the work. The quality of, like I said, what you see is what you get. So the quality of what you're building is dependent on what you built. So because it's easy, that does not negate the quality of that work. I just want to correct that notion. Thank you.
Next week is getting your hands dirty. Okay. As a graphic designer, can you be able to create your own apps for other business organizations? Toby, do you want to go with that?
Okay, yes, sure. During my section, I think I mentioned the integration with Figma that recently happened. They're still on preview. So what that means is that we have designers. So for example, they want to build an application. They build design on Figma. They start converting to an app. But now you can just move directly from Figma Figma using Power Apps component, you can move your application directly from design from Figma directly into an application without writing any programming language to do all of those. And that's an integration that is actually oncoming. At the moment, is in preview. What that means is Microsoft is still watching it. Moving forward, I'm optimistic and I'm confident that Microsoft will also look at integrating with all that design tools that we have out there, how to integrate them into Power Apps so you can easily convert your app into application.
Thank you so much for giving of yourself, sharing your expertise with our community. It means the world and is only the beginning. Now, LEARNTOR cohort is starting cohort 6, and this is the hot cake that I need to share with you. We have just gone in partnership with a European company, and it's actually going to be bigger because I just had a meeting with them just last week. It's bigger than what we actually signed. Okay, now it's going to be like intergovernment based on the conversation. So anyone that goes through the LEARNTOR cohort program gets opportunity for European job placement. The reason a lot of people are scared of tech, they don't know where to start from because they don't have that prior experience. And it really matters within the Western community. So the LEARNTOR cohort is offering Agile, Scrum, Design Thinking, PMO, Project Management Office. That's for the track 1. And certification by Scrum.org. That's PSM 1. So track 2 is covering data analytics, and that is Power BI, Tableau, SQL, and Python as programming language for 2. The video should be out today. Please, I want you all to just unmute and say thank you, Toby. And we are looking forward to Veronica. Veronica is the next person that is going to razzle-dazzle us on practical steps. And they are Oga that mentored all of them. Am I correct to say that, Toby? They are Oga that mentored all of them. We'll be here to put a final cap on that session. This is a practical session. We're not here to train at you. We want you to get to do something great. So I can see a message in the chat. Thank you a lot, Toby.
Thank you so much for your time and your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Toby.
In 2 weeks, not next week. We have next week for Agile. We have our new goal pad. The flyer should be out as well. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
LEARNTOR, thank you.
Bye.